I knew there was something odd about David when I first saw him. He was a handsome guy, tall, with athletic build. The type of guy who seemed to charm everyone. Everyone seemed to like him. He was kind and witty, and people just seemed to gravitate to him. The charade he put on was convincing, but somehow I saw through it. There was just something about him that set me on edge each and every time I interacted with him. Maybe it was a sixth sense, but I always got the feeling he was hiding something. My suspicion was strengthened when I randomly caught him arriving to work one day. He closed his trunk as I pulled in and used a water bottle to wash a red liquid from his hands. I greeted him as usual, but that moment I knew for sure he was up to something nefarious. Later that week, he was alone in the lunchroom and didn't see me come in. I then caught a glimpse of what he was reading on his phone. Effects of Rohypnol. It's not a crime to just look something up, but given the context, I found it extremely unnerving. That moment substantiated everything I had sensed from him, but rather than notifying the police, I elected for a different option. I borrowed a friend's car so he wouldn't recognize me, and followed him when he clocked out on Friday. He returned to his apartment and didn't leave for the rest of the night. I staked out in the parking lot for the entire night. The following day, he finally emerged and went to his car, carrying a large duffel bag with him. I tailed him for the rest of the day as he made several stops at local hardware and convenience stores. Later that night, I followed him to a local bar and posted up outside as he went in. He returned 2 hours later with a friend. It was a young woman, and from her stumbling footsteps, it was clear she wasn't in the right state of mind. My heart began thundering in my chest, and I stepped out of the car just as he put the young woman in his back seat. He did not see me sneaking up, and before he could turn back, I slammed my bat into the back of his head. He fell to the ground, conscious but dazed beyond belief. After taking a brief look around, I dragged him to the trunk and forced him in. He looked up, seeming to recognize me. I smiled and spoke. "What are the odds, huh? Two psychopaths in the same place at once." His eyes sprung open as I wrapped him in duct tape and closed the trunk. His lady friend was out cold in the back seat. I got in the driver's seat and fired it up as my smile grew even wider. A 2-for-1 must be my lucky day.